Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Journey Days podcast, as seen on the Pink City Twitch channel. We just watched episode 7 of Blink Space Blues. How's it going? What's up? You want to know about the heist? Tune in next week. Also, man, we gotta get you in one of these one shots. I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah.
Magnus has some light. Finally, there he was Magnus of the Shadows earlier. Just want to talk about the episode. I think that one, amidst all those other episodes that were like a bit intense, like, the Bogoga one, the mutant one, this was like a nice one to like kind of let you guys breathe a bit. That was like my intention, just like let you guys breathe, get on your feet. I feel like that was kind of the vibe. How do you guys feel about that? It was a pretty rich episode full of stuff too.
Yeah, like you said, this is a introduction to the Alliance and galactic affairs and seeing the brothers.
Yeah, seeing the brothers.
Pretty crazy.
I guess it's kind of like
there was a lot of alliances and a lot of blanks filled for me on my end.
Oh yes. Because Amy joins later. What were you gonna say? Yeah, there's a big one for Bugaki too.
Well, it's kind of like the introduction to like the, there's some. It's kind of like the bigger world,
Yeah, I was saying earlier that this episode kind of like opens up, like kind of like magnifies the campaign a little bit. There's like the one line in particular that I feel is like the line that just like everyone's just like, what? You like get zoomed out. It's when Thalsinar is you guys talking to Thalsinar, and he's just like, you speak of an alliance as if one is not already in the works, and you're just like, wait, what? Because I feel like as you guys have been so focused on like your missions and your things and what you guys are doing, and like, oh, you guys are like fighting against the big bads, and like that's what you guys are doing. But then like that line, I feel like shows you that like, oh, like there's other shit in the universe in motion already, and you guys are just part of this like bigger picture. I feel like that line really like solidifies that, and I think it's really cool to have that macro view after this episode. I think you're the big shots.
Also with Sappy's, with the other Phazos brothers, starting to see more of the history of Mikey Starhand, and it's interesting. I think we still haven't really got into there's
still a lot we have to get into. Yeah, we've really just scratched the surface on this. But yeah, we get sort of like we saw Joseph Phazos earlier, like in an early episode. But like, yeah, we see the depth of like and the differences between like his relationship with every different sibling, especially after this episode. But let's backtrack to like the beginning. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
How many siblings are there again?
I believe 9. I think there's 9.
There's 9.
There's 9. There's 9 kids in total. I think there's Mikey, there's Joseph, there's Dice, Rosie, Noon, Roland, and then Angel. Angel is one that you guys haven't really heard about or like hasn't really been discussed.
How much of this was you versus Sappy?
Sappy created all of that. And their nicknames and like kind of their vibes and like what they kind of did. The only person he gave me full control over is the unknown Angel Phazos, who we haven't really talked about, haven't really discussed. Is kind of missing.
Thought Rosie was the oldest for some reason. I didn't even.
She is technically, because if you don't count Angel, who's like question mark.
Wait, so who's the mom?
So Ben and Jules are the Ben is the dad and Jules is the mother. Yeah, those are behind the scenes of the Condria family at large.
Oh, are you saying because Angel's not, because they were all like experiments and Angel wasn't an experiment or like a different batch or something?
I don't want to spoil anything. Angel is definitely a special case.
Fine.
But yeah, Sappy was like when he like gave me the info of all the Conjure stuff, Angel was like redacted. He's like, "You throw something at me." I was like, "All right, I got an idea."
Because he wanted to be surprised for himself.
Yeah, I wish Sappy was here to talk about it. But
I know. Wow.
Yeah, no, let's backtrack to the beginning of the episode. So obviously, yeah, this episode was kind of let you guys breathe a bit, get back on your feet after like the craziness that happened in the past two.
Almost getting eaten.
But the Jimothy problem, which I think you were all, especially, well, D-Friend started to get worried that he would be like a fucked up burden on your ship.
Yeah.
But I feel like this episode he really proved himself as useful. After everything, like at the beginning, you guys were kind of skeptical. You just pulled this random man who can't die on board. But I personally did not expect that you guys would use him like this. Truly, he was just thrown in there to like kind of give you like a sense of like experiments and shit going on, and to hint at some stuff. But then you fully brought him on board and used him as like a tool for all this other stuff, which I guess is what happens in TTRPGs.
Classic in D&D. You take the NPC.
Yeah, you adopt the NPCs. Yeah, slowly throughout the campaign.
You mean the DM did not plan for NPCs to stick with you for the rest of the
yeah, exactly. Yeah, truly, I should just expect it at this point.
Never heard that before.
Another thing that was fun on Jacob's Terrace was the supposed Beaumont scene. That was truly just in there as like one. I wanted to throw in a Dragonborn character that could possibly have been a distant relative of Belmont from our season 1.
Oh, that's why he's called.
That's why he's like orange, and his name is supposed Beaumont. But he was just in there to perhaps like give you under the table access to get a meeting with Felsinar. But Bugaki fucked up and said like, "Hey, I'm fucking Bugaki Dingleberry, blah 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 blah," and I was like, I can't let that slide. I gotta make this a whole like. Suppose Beaumont has gotta. This has gotta be a thing now. So that evolved into that because of that thing, which
very accurate to the characters.
Yeah, which I feel like is a thing Bugaki tends to find himself in a lot.
Fucking up for everybody.
Yeah, always.
Bugaki can't not say that.
Yeah. Especially at this point in the story.
He's Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Okay, I see that. I can see that.
Well, because I remember when you made your skills or your stats or whatever, you had like pull rank and all this stuff, and you were just like dying to use it.
Yeah,
whenever you could.
And I can never use it.
Yeah, how can you pull rank when you're trying to hide who you are?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the and another thing that happened on Draco Sara's, Ulop, who I mean, Sappy can't speak to it now, but Ulop, the character of this shitty vulture was actually created by Sappy, who just like wanted like someone who like had been bugging you guys for years in the past that would just show up at some point. And that was truly the story behind Ulop, and who knows? Maybe we will see him again. This Kobold lost in Blink Space. Magnus is gonna write a fanfic for it, right?
Yeah.
Send me his dossier.
Yeah, just this yellow kobold who gets by on finessing people. But yeah, obviously the best. The most important scene, I think takes up the majority of this episode is obviously the conversation with Felsinar, which is like a huge meeting. I personally, thought it was really intense and like could have gone either way. Like going into it, what were you guys like thinking it would go like, or like thoughts prior? Or like I feel like Bugaki had a plan, like he wanted to do something.
Well, I don't know. For me, it's every time I talk to these, political leaders, I'm nervous when I'm doing it. I'm like, I gotta say something good, and it works out to be how Bugaki is feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I never know what's gonna happen, because if I try to plan something, you always have a different plan. Like the me dressing up in Bogogo.
Oh yeah, as a merchant.
I'm like, it did not work out.
Yeah.
So I can't make a plan,
I mean, you can make plans. It just like depends how they unfold.
Bugaki just wings it.
Yeah, Bugaki does just swing it. But Thalsonar, I feel like you guys navigated the conversation well. Like, cause he was like asking you guys a bunch of questions, right? And like I guess like vibe checking you, I guess is the best way to put it.
Vibe checking.
He was vibe checking you guys, and like you guys, I think it was a successful conversation because you guys left with more knowledge about one, the Alliance, and then Washi, and then more TP.
Yeah, those are both unexpected benefits. I just thought that we were trying to recruit him to the cause, and then that's why Whiskers is like, "Hey, look at these binoculars. Hey, look at Jimothy. What do you think?" And just didn't have any expectations for an alliance and getting money from that. That was sick.
Whiskers, you was the one at the end who was like, "Do you have anything?" And that's when I was like, "Okay, I guess I give you guys GP because you guys are so broke."
Yeah. That's me as a player always trying to milk the DM.
His throne is a little bit smaller now.
Yes, exactly. It's a large throne. It's a large throne of treasure.
For everything your father ever meant to me, here's a few.
I mean, throughout, like, he has a dragon's life, right? So he's probably lived for thousands of years, and like Horny Dingleberry probably was like a small chunk of that. So he's like, yeah, you helped me a bit. Here's a couple bucks. But yeah, it is a lot for you guys.
Well, my question is, what was gonna happen if it didn't go well? Like, did you have a combat plan?
Well, no, not combat. Just like I don't know how it could have gone that badly, right? Like I know you guys were going in with good intentions, so like, and like he is obviously not like allied with the new union. He's like basically trying to stay as neutral as possible, but obviously he can't act upon it, but he does like not like the new union and all the shit that they're doing, right? But obviously as the one planet in the central star system that isn't technically aligned with them, he has to like play it safe. So that's why he's like vibe checking you guys of like, what's your plan? What are you guys doing? Like, do you guys have an actual solid plan for this? Because like if he spills any beans, like that could, jeopardize his station, right? So that's why it was like a very like careful conversation. But yeah, I don't think it would have got evolved into combat unless he fully just like opened fire on Thalsonar, which I wouldn't imagine. Can't imagine like what the reason was. Yeah, facing
thousands of dragon ships.
Yeah. And then his little a little Fornax cameo. Magnus has listened to the first season. You remember Fornax, right?
Yeah, hilarious character.
yeah. I think it's a throwaway line where I think he's just like talking about himself. He's like, "Hi, Fornax, son of Thalsonar," and then we like took that, and then we were creating the Dragon Ball one. I think it's D-Friend who was like, "Oh, yo, we should make Thalsonar the king of this planet because that's like
hell yeah."
Yeah, and then that's how that all happened. So that's fucking sick. Little tie-in. Love the little tie-ins.
Yeah, it's cool. It's always cool to see when you take a character that D-Fran made and then you like have your own like ancestry of it or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we have to talk about some of them, like some of the more important ones and the ones more connected to the lore. Yeah.
True to Super Journey dudes, at least what I've experienced. Lots of characters.
So many characters. So many characters.
Yeah.
Well, so much merch. Get all these shirts.
Yeah.
All these one-liners in this show. You could get so many shirts and cups and mugs.
You really need the montage shirt of every character that's ever been.
Oh my god.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
We gotta wait till the end.
Yeah, I did want art for Mr. Shine and Ulat for this episode, but that was like there was already too much art for this, and D-Friend is a busy man. So, but like Thalsonar was fucking sick.
Yo, the Thalsonar art was crazy. So sick. Holy crap!
Noon Phazos was cool because I was like space bounty hunter. Like he kind of has like the Boba Fett armor vibes. And then obviously Roland. And then Jimothy with his shirt on, less grotesque than the other art. A lot of dope art this episode. But yeah, a shirt or some merch of all of them would be really, really sick.
Yeah, that's
really sick.
What I was gonna say is what I really enjoyed is because I was waiting for it, because I remember when we did a one shot, we were discussing it, and then in this one it happened, and it was the cult.
I was just gonna talk about the Way of the Rift. Yeah,
the Way of the Rift, like, because
that's one of the things that made sense.
You guys watched one of the one shots I did. I was a priest,
former priest. Yeah,
that's right.
A former priest, and it was from.
And that would have been 40 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, and it was from that cult. So everything feels more of a blank of my character I played, and then just so much other things. And it was just really funny because I was just riffing, but my riff was not far off from.
No, it wasn't. Well, like I gave you like a little bit of a base.
Yeah, you gave me a small thing, and then I just went with it nuts. But it was not far because religion.
I was like, because they're all more or less
they're all more or less the same.
Same
so
vibe.
Very simple. But I was also concerned about that. But then when you did it, I was like, I was pretty much.
Well, right. No, yeah. If you said anything or brought up anything, or brought up anything that was too far from it, which it wouldn't be. I would have said something, but
I really loved you. Your whole thing,
listen. So obviously, it is very much inspired by Scientology with the subscription and stuff. But it is mixed with Christianity a lot because me and Mike grew up going to Catholic school, so I know a lot of the terminology. I'm very knowledgeable in theology, a lot of that stuff. We went to church a lot, so the hymns and stuff.
Yes.
I know that's all locked in here forever. I mixed them all.
Yeah,
and I thought it'd be really
Catholic
jokes.
to me.
It was very.
I had to go to what is called CCD. Yeah.
But yeah, I will say it took us 11 episodes to really finally learn a bit more about the Way of the Rift. You guys heard about it as just this background religion that's kind of driving a lot of what the new unit does. But throughout all this time, I've always been in the back of my mind, been I want to show what they believe in and what their religion is, just so you guys have some context, because a lot of the stuff that they do and as you have learned and will come to learn more, the moves that they are making are all to serve this rift ideology.
Yes.
I need to introduce it somehow. So I was I'll just have a street preacher in Butcher Part that has a little sermon. But yeah, I'm glad that you caught the Christianity and Scientology inspiration, because truly that's what it was inspired by.
My favorite part was
the worst parts of them.
When you were the whole crowd around.
You asked me this. Yeah. That was so funny. That was a good moment.
Yeah, that was good.
Another thing that happened on which for that was fun. We finally got to meet Mr. Shine, who has only been referenced in passing via Mikey, the man responsible for, or the monkey responsible for his cybernetic arm. So it's nice to finally meet him. And a classic DM TTRPG thing that happened there was, I thought of this character. I knew he'd be a mechanic. I was he moves and uses his feet to hold things. I truly did not know what he would sound like until the first words came out of my mouth. Just a classic DM thing. I was I'll add some monkey noises to differentiate him from Ulap, but they kind of sound similar with the high pitched voice. But yeah, it was nice to finally meet him. Maybe we'll see more of him in the future. I did want to mention that when you guys were in the Spitting Image bar, one reference / cameo / shout out that I threw in there that is really important to me was the Triangle Man, Sinko's Tan. That was always intended to be a tribute to Nick. So Nick Tan was our best friend who passed November 2021. 2021. It's been a while. But who passed away midway through recording the episodes that he was on or going to be on in the first season. But his character was Shlomo. and which is like what the Shlomo Galaxy was named after. He ended up, I mean, spoilers, but he ended up being like a dragon from another plane. And so I wanted to like reference that and also kind of hint at like the world at large and like the many planes of existence. So that whole little segment was like a tribute to Nick. And I wanted to include that in this campaign. So, you know, that's our brother. Rest in peace. Shlomo will always be a part of this universe. And yeah, I don't know. I came up with like a triangle because like Tan was Nick's last name, and Sin Cos Tan is a thing you learned in fucking math in high school. Fucking what was it? A parabolas? Is that what it was? Parabolas?
Parabola is like the rectangle on a slant.
There's sine wave, there's cosine wave, and there's tan wave.
Sure.
Yeah. Is it trigonometry?
Trigonometry?
It's like their wave functions.
I'm glad we all are just.
No, I was the worst at math. That was my worst subject.
It's trigonometry. It's trigonometry. Okay.
So far over my head, I'm looking at the stars right now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's really cool about the triangle thing is, I don't know why triangles are just always like a sci-fi thing. Is that something you guys realize?
It's sacred geometry.
Isn't it like a fundamental, geometric shape of all reality?
Maybe that's what it is, but like I just noticed that in all like sci-fi pop culture. Yeah, like for instance, what is it? I think is it Star Trek? I forgot what it is, but they like get stuck in that zone, and it's like it looks like, I think it's a diamond shape actually, but it's like a shape, and it flips them away. I think it's
triangle zone.
Yeah, and then there's also in Adventure Time, Quizno or something like that. Not Quizno. He's like the pink giant guy, and like he comes out of like a triangle. I don't know. Every time there's a sci-fi situation with triangles.
Yeah,
I thought that was.
Yeah, it does have like an ethereal.
I thought it was like on purpose on that.
Yeah,
too.
no, like triangles have like an ethereal vibe to them, and like, yeah, I don't remember the exact reason why I made it a triangle, but like I didn't describe it well. I said it like he's a triangle, but he's like a flat triangle, not a pyramid. But any angle that you look at him
that's
from,
what I meant.
He was a flat triangle. That's what I was. That's
exactly what I saw, because every sci-fi thing I've watched or seen, whether it's Doctor Who or anything, every time they have a triangle, and it's like I always think of space right away. Like, so it was very perfect. Like, I liked it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's got the knowledge. Got the knowledge. Yeah, because I don't know, like circular stuff is more like life. I feel like there's all the different shapes have like different symbolism attached to them. So just wanted to shout out that Nick tribute. We can obviously talk about the Phasos reunion next episode when Sappy's here.
Really quickly, Alex, the Shlomo send off in the first season was an incredibly dope scene. Where he opens the way to the air elemental plane. Very cool.
You guys haven't listened to the first season. You guys should tune into Rainbow Valley.
That was a really heavy thing for me because obviously that was a just a heavy moment, and having to deal with ending the character in a way that made a tribute to Nick, and like him being such a great guy and everything. That was a lot of pressure. That took 3 months of me to just
I remember.
All right, let's do it. Because that's like, and I still feel like I can't really watch it because it's like it's too heavy for me.
Yeah,
I feel like I wanted to do a better job. But
no, you did a perfect job, man. You did a perfect job.
It culminated into something that even strangers could
understand.
Like
a behind the scenes for like I guess anyone who is aware of those episodes. There was that several months we were all kind of wrestling of what should we do, how does one still continue a story and honor the character and the world that you've built with someone who's no longer with you, but it's hard to continue without them, right? And you also don't want to write something that's not what you think they would want, and I remember there were discussions of do we even continue the campaign? That was even on the table. But I think as Magda said, you did it very beautifully. Shlomo is it's the Show 'em Away galaxy because I think this whole, honestly, at this point, this whole universe is dedicated to Nick in that way. So I agree. It was beautifully done.
Because he was also, we were also talking to him about the idea for this campaign. At the time,
he was going to be in this as well.
Yeah, he's going to be in this. He actually did on the building of the first season. He created some of the names of the map on the map.
Oh shit!
Yeah, me and him were like, hanging out one day, and we're like, because he wasn't sure if he was gonna be in it, and then we were like, but I had the map, and I was like, hey, if you got some ideas for names, and I'd have to see the map again to remember which ones he created. But yeah,
I didn't know that. That's cool. It's very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like it when
he was
things just come together.
Yeah, like his soul is very much in this campaign.
Exactly, 1,000%.
And I remember his so just like a fun fact, like his character, he didn't have like a particular idea, but he wanted to play like a Death Scythe style mech. I remember because Death Scythe is his favorite from Wing, so he would have had some kind of like melee, close and like, I don't know, cloaking and like all that stuff. Like that was his vibe for sure.
If he was in this, I definitely wouldn't have died as much.
Yeah, maybe. yeah. Hey, maybe if you guys see Cinco's Tan piloting a mech, it'll be a Death Scythe. The Death Scythe character. That'd be cool in the final battle or something.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We can talk about the Phaso stuff when we have Mikey next episode, because it's gonna pick up with the train heist and stuff. But yeah, I will say the train heist cliffhanger and the idea of the train heist and you guys helping out on the train heist. One of the first things I did when we were creating or setting up things for this campaign, I asked everyone like what they wanted to see. One of them was like a race episode, which we did with like the Red Line race. And then two, Defran and Sappy wanted a train heist at some point. So that's how this was born. I was like, how the fuck do I fit a train heist? Like now that like they're dealing with like galactic war shit. This is how. So, any final thoughts, especially from like Amy or Magnus, who weren't like playing in it, who like are experiencing it for the first time, or as people who like came in later, new context?
Alex, I'd love to know where this empathy for Jimothy came from. Out of all characters, like he's you just seem to give him more chances than any other person in the entire galaxy.
It's so funny you say empathy, like, or maybe they're just sadistic and they just like playing with him, slowly torturing him.
Mikey is
in the beginning of the episode is mostly what I'm talking about, not the subsequent actions taken upon his bodily form.
I did notice that too. Yeah.
Like, well, for me in general, I just feel bad. I don't know why. It's more of a personal thing. I don't want to just kill the guy. You know what I mean?
I think it aligns with Bugaki's current like arc path too, because like, since the flashbacks, since like all of that stuff and like the path that Bugaki is on, he is trying to like atone for so much that I feel like him seeing this guy, I feel like is a big like flag for him to like, oh, here's a chance to like that's how I interpret it. Like, here's a chance to do something good for someone for once because you've only thought about yourself up until now.
With the worst situation ever.
Yeah.
Could be a space wizard.
Yeah.
Savior of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Bugaki is trying to be a better person. He it maybe before the destruction of his entire race, he probably wouldn't have cared too much. He probably would have left him on the planet.
And who would have thought, like, Jimothy, what an important character in this little story so far. But we will see more of all that next week. So I think how the month is going to play out. So next week we will have an episode, and the week after we'll have an episode. And then on the 29th, we'll be doing a live stream, another live Rage Against the Rift episode with, and I was going to say, Amy, Magnus, and hopefully Sky. So like a whole roster of different people would be fun. But also on the 17th, so actually next Wednesday, didn't realize it's coming up so soon.
That's right.
We are doing a stream for the Covenant House, who help victims of sex trafficking and stuff in Toronto. They're an awesome charity that we have been partnered with for a little bit. We're doing a stream with them on the 17th, which will be the bringing back the Pokemon D&D streams. So we will get that. Yeah, so we're gonna bring that back.
I want to be in it one day.
You want to be in it? So shit! Let me see if.
I always wanted to.
Okay, well, I want to do more.
Did you get Shabir or not?
I did talk to Shabir. So Shabir is filling in a spot. Had you said this earlier, Amy, I would have. Next time. Because I gotta
also message Shabir. You're not playing.
Well, you would have got.
Shabir has art made.
Yeah, he has art made. I would have to get art made in a week. Maybe too soon. But yeah, that'll be next Wednesday. So please tune in and support the cause. Coming House is awesome. We saw them last weekend at the Twitch event. And they sent us some cool stuff. I don't know if you see there's like a main mission.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear Chris do impressions of all 151 Pokemon, he can do it.
Good. Every time I see it, I share it again. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
Fun. It's one of my favorite things to do is Pokemon voices. But yeah, so tune in. But yeah, we'll see you here same time, same place next week. And until then, over and out. Bye.
Space.